Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's conversation on the YouTube Creators Hub podcast. Dusty here, as always. I'm joined today by Jake Lorraine from the High Response Marketing YouTube channel. Jake is 43 with 8 kids. Yes, you heard that right, 8 kids. He's a small business owner, and he realized there's so much opportunity on YouTube, and he took advantage of it. So the High Response Marketing YouTube channel is just about to hit 11,000 subscribers, not even close to 250 videos yet, about 237 videos uploaded. He's got a great community that he's built over there, and we're going to talk about it today. So, Jake, how are you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing great, Dusty. Thanks.
Absolutely. So, give me the origin story of the channel. You know, you said you saw there's some potential on YouTube, but what made you start the channel, and kind of give us a little bit about what the channel's about. So give us the story of how you started it, why you started it, and then a little bit about what we would see if we went to the channel.
Yeah, it's kind of backwards from what most YouTubers would discover. Most YouTubers would start on YouTube and then figure out how to monetize it, right? They would figure out how are they going to actually make money from this. I actually had to do it the other way. I was making content, but not on YouTube, and had all these monetization sources. And then I said, wait, I should probably be on YouTube. And that really blew everything up. So I was able, and why I think anyone listening to this will get a lot of value out of it, I was able to make a lot of money from YouTube with very little subscribers. Like, I was making a lot of money even when I hit 1,000 subscribers, like a lot. And that has grown even more. But because I understood the monetization, like how to monetize things beyond just YouTube AdSense. So I think that will be pretty helpful. But I was creating digital courses. So I was making digital instructional courses for small business owners, for marketers, and I was selling them over email. So, and in that world, that's really common. You like promote other people's courses and they promote yours. And it's this kind of cannibalistic thing where you're just sending out emails to the same kind of groups of people and you're hopping around to different people's. And I said, this is after like years. I'm like, you know what? I think I should probably go on YouTube and try to get some fresh subscribers. So I started like 2 years ago, not that long ago, I started like really taking YouTube seriously and watching everything I could on how to make good YouTubes. And I just followed a few principles and it just blew up. Like it just started. I would get 1,000 subscribers and I get 2,500 subscribers and my money was just going up and up and up and up and up. And I've been able to foster a really good community, a really loyal following with relatively small amounts of subscribers. So that's kind of like 2 years later, I just hit 10,000 subscribers, and I'm not kidding you. I will attribute $1.5 million in sales just from this year.
Okay, so I got a lot about that I want to break down. I think that it's one of the most unique things about your channel. It's why I wanted to have you on the show. I tell people this all the time. You can have a small sub count or a small view count, and if you're targeting the right people, you can make a full-time income on YouTube. You just have to know what your niche or what your space is. So we'll certainly talk about that. So on that note, can you tell me what your channel's about? So High Response Marketing, what types of videos do you upload and what target demographic do you kind of try to focus on?
I still struggle with it a little bit, but I have 2 main audiences. One are people who it's kind of like 3, but one are people who make money by helping small businesses do their marketing. So those are like professional marketers, or in a lot of cases, just people looking for a side income, like a side hustle, something that they can do that's legitimate, that's not like a pyramid scheme-y type thing or a digital Ponzi scheme stuff, something where they can actually help other people in the community and make money. And then also the actual small business owners themselves. So everything from like chiropractors, dentists, real estate agents, people looking for help for marketing, for small local businesses. It's not like corporate stuff. It's not e-commerce. It's like your everyday service. You said you're getting hardwood floors, right? In your house right now. Mm-hmm. And it would be like those type of people. That's why I love helping. They're like an undiscovered crowd. Like there's so many small business owners out there and they don't know anything about marketing. It's like a wide open field. So it was really helpful for me in YouTube.
Yeah, it's
that audience.
unfortunate. Not really unfortunate, but I've had to deal with a lot of those people lately. I had some HVAC troubles a year or so ago, and then we had some yard stuff going on. Then we had some plumbing stuff. Now we're getting hardwood floors. So all of these types of businesses are in need of people to help them. Now,
Totally.
I feel like you do such a great job. You did a video just over a week ago, how I'd make $5,000 to $10,000 next
Yeah.
month, even if I was broke. That
Yeah.
video now has reached about 65,000 views in just over a week. So
That's
obviously,
crazy.
you really know what you're doing, and it's kind of leading to monetization buckets, and we'll talk about those for sure. But let's talk about the YouTube side of things first.
Sure.
What worked for your YouTube channel and what didn't? So start with the things that have worked and the things that didn't, and maybe we can break them down individually, but kind of talk about what's helped you kind of grow the channel.
I started my YouTube channel a long time ago. Like, if you search by oldest, like, it's like really old. Like, I would just make these videos, and it never went anywhere. You know, I'd go like 5 years without posting anything, and never took it seriously. So I this is probably anyone looking to do YouTube will come across this advice, but it's so true. You have to make a lot of videos before you start seeing results. So like, you make good video, you think you're making great videos, and you put all this time and effort and editing and planning, and then they get 20 views, they get 30 views, they get to, it doesn't go anywhere. That is the toughest thing. So like, you think it's not working for a long time. You think it's just not working, and you give up. And I did that, you know, multiple times. I'd put a lot of effort into a thing. It didn't really pay off. And then when I finally said, okay, I'm just going to make sure, I think I saw an interview with Mr. Beast, and it was like, you just got to make 100 videos. You just have to make 100 videos. That's all you have to do. And I'm like, okay, I'll just work on 100 videos. And that really is the best thing. Like, that is, if you can keep making consistent content out there and get to that 100 video thing, I don't know if you would agree, but I think you are good to go in YouTube if you make 100 videos.
Yeah, I think for me, it might have been even more than that, but that
Yeah,
was certainly a good starting point, and I think that uploading consistently, getting better every time, trying to take certain aspects of the video production process or creation process and focus in on them and try to get better at them in small chunks, as opposed to trying to tackle the whole thing at once and trying to get better all at once with a whole bunch of ideas and things like that, is a really big deal. So can you talk about just you figuring out who your audience was early on and the benefits that's had for your channel, as just not necessarily growth in numbers, but in monetary value as well?
You're constantly trying to reach a specific audience, to know, okay, these are the people that I'm really trying to get to watch my video, but also to make it broad enough to where new people might be like, this sounds really interesting. Because if you talk to one specific really direct audience, you're just naturally not going to have as many views. So the key, I think, the constant like thing I'm chasing is to try to find a plan of making a video content that's going to reach a specific audience, but also going to be like broadly appealing. Cause that's when your views go really high, is when it's like someone who's maybe not even in that exact audience you're looking for sees this and says, this is interesting. You're like does that make sense? You're like trying to make it broad enough, but not so broad that no one clicks on it.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. And let's just focus on a specific here. Why do you think that video that you did a week ago, the one that I just mentioned, how I'd make 5 to 10K next month, even if I was broke, why do you think that video has done so well?
Yeah, there's 2 videos, that one and another one, that are probably my highest count videos. And one common denominator is that they're ones I didn't even plan. I just said, you know, I'm due for a video. I got a good idea. Let me just film this. I'm not planning it. I'm not just film. And that's sometimes these off the cuff things are just what your audience needs. So that's just an interesting thing. My most popular videos haven't been ones that are like crazy well planned. So that's something I want to throw out there. But this one is a really strong statement. So clickbait doesn't work, I don't think, today. I think YouTube clickbait will not work. You can't just go crazy with the clickbait. But if you can make a really bold claim like I did in this last video that really blew up for me, and back it up and have actually good, like it's not clickbait. That's like a super winning formula, obviously, because I'm getting like a bazillion response from it. It's great.
Yeah, I
think
think
if you
that
can back that claim up,
one of the things that stood out to me about that video is that the comments were, I mean, they were people active in the comment section being like, oh, this is real data, this is real stuff. And when you show people how to make money, if you have the data to back it up, people want to know how to make money. I mean, that's just the reality that we're in, right?
It's broadly appealing. It's broadly appealing. Yeah.
Right. Now, let's talk about thumbnails and packaging for a minute. Can we do that for a minute?
Totally.
So with your thumbnails, you've kind of changed over time. Talk about what you do for the packaging of your videos. That's the title, the thumbnail, the description. How has that evolved over time, and how have you kind of locked into where you are now?
I'm a pretty good copywriter by nature, so I didn't really struggle with that. And I use ChatGPT and stuff all the time, but I haven't really embraced that totally for like thumbnails and stuff. But I do super focus on those first 30 seconds, really like the first 10 seconds and then the first 30. I really make sure that those are crazy important, because that's what draws people in to keep watching. You will lose people if you don't snag them right away in that first 10 seconds. The thumbnails, I just load up Canva. I do them all on Canva, and I just have one Canva thumbnail project, and I just kind of recycle colors and shapes and stuff so it's kind of consistent. I do pick one color. It's like a coral color that kind of identifies me, my brand. Big title, and I don't know. Yeah, I just throw it on Canva if it looks good. You know, I'm a kind of gut feeling person. If I think this looks good, if I'm happy with it, go for it.
Yeah, no, I like your thumbnails, and I love how you do have stuck with kind of a theming with the coloring and the fonts, and I do recommend that. We've talked about that a lot here on the podcast. What's been your biggest failure so far? What's been the biggest flop since you started the channel?
I fail all the time. You know, that's the life of a business owner. I have completely lost count of the times I have even made videos, you know, spent weeks planning videos and then like film them, and then I have an hour of filming and then I'm editing for 5 hours, and I'm like, and the whole thing goes like it was 2 weeks wasted or whatever. I have so many of those. I can't even count. Like, those are just huge things I've spent so much money and time and effort on. I'm making videos and they just went nowhere. They got no views. Things that I thought were going to blow up and there was nothing, crickets. You know, I go live every week. That's another thing. I go live every Thursday, which is great for community involvement, building a loyal following. And there were times that not that long ago, like a year or something ago, where I would go live and there's 2 people on there, and it's just like so frustrating. You're trying to talk to people. I try to put those things behind me. I fail all the time.
How do you deal with the crickets videos or the negative feedback? I understand you're from New York, and sometimes people from up north have a real thick skin. I know we deal with people here in the South who don't, kind of the opposite of that, which I think is funny. How do you deal with the negative feedback that you receive, and when you upload a video and there's no one watching? Because that's the reality of YouTube. That's going to happen.
Totally. I get asked a lot, you know, locally, like friends, they'll see my channel and stuff and be like, oh my God, I want to start a YouTube channel. You know, and I always tell them, I go, you got to commit yourself to 100 videos. You make 100 videos, then you can probably be a YouTuber. But the hardest thing is really putting out those videos, lots of videos, and getting nothing, and just still doing your best, still doing your absolute best and getting nothing, like getting no. This is like, you know, there was a time where Taylor Swift and Chappell Roan and all these people had no audience. They had no audience, and they're still out there performing. It's just like a rite of passage. You just have to get it into your mind that you are just going to keep doing it. There's nothing. It is a mental, just disciplinary thing. You can maybe pretend there's a bunch of people on there. You just have to push through it, and it's numbers. It's just keep doing it, and eventually it hits.
I've been pushing live streaming for a while now. I think it's one of the greatest ways you can grow a small YouTube channel, even a large YouTube channel. The repurposing ability to repurpose content from the stream is undeniable. People are really making a lot of money that way. What do you believe have been the biggest benefits for your channel that you've seen? So let's talk about the benefits first, and then I want to discuss the overall kind of just doing it as far as setting it up and all of that.
Sure. I really love live streaming. Live streaming is a critical part of my channel because I'm not the most consistent. Like there's times where I'll go months without making an actual video, but I always go live on Thursday. And that's like the thing that keeps my channel alive, that keeps people engaged, because I don't have to plan. Like I don't even plan my live streams. I might think of a topic a few minutes before I go live. I am just going live, talking to people. I bring up their comments every time I say hi. People love that. I experienced that on TikTok Live is really fun. And like, there's a few TikTok lives that I follow, and I love when they like shout me out on the comment, make a comment and they like bring it up and hey, Jake, it's like amazing. And I got to see that for the first time recently when I started watching TikTok lives of how my audience feels when they watch me live. I'm like, these people tune in every Thursday, they're around the globe, and they like put it on their calendar and they show up because they love getting their name shout out. They love weighing in, you have discussions, you keep everyone active. Live streaming is great. It can keep your channel alive without you having to go through the whole editing and planning and all this stress about thinking about thumbnails and getting a video out. You can still get that video out. And it's long format. YouTube loves long format. You got people watching there for an hour. It's great.
Yeah, it helps so much with the retention and watch time. Talk about the process of setting a stream up. People who are technologically challenged, they're worried about, do I have the right tools? I tell people all the time, you can literally stream from an iPhone, a cheap little tripod for the iPhone, and you're already good to go. But talk about like the software you use and the way that you set your stream up.
I'm actually really excited now that YouTube has YouTube Live. So I haven't done that yet, but I'm gonna from your phone. Like I think that's great. I'm gonna have to try that out. I'm not a gear junkie. I have some pretty nice gear, but I'm like I like good lighting. I like a decent camera, a decent lens, and good audio. And those, you don't have to spend a lot for those three. I used to use StreamYard, and they got really expensive and their quality kind of went down. But now I use Ecamm. That's just for me because I use Macs. But I think you can use any streaming software that works for you. I like those, and I love anything that you can pull up comments. If you can pull up comments and if you can interact with people. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but I just started using Stream Alive. Are you familiar with that?
No, I've never heard of that before. Man. But I've StreamYard. Early on, I was a big fan of StreamYard, and kind of like you, the pricing has changed, and there's still a great tool. But one of the things that really took them to the next level was you were able to just highlight people's comments and bring it up, right, very easily. But I'll have to check that one out to see. Now, do you use like for me, I have a cam link from Elgato. I plug into my DSLR to kind of have a really nice webcam to where it looks really good. And then you use some software. But can you talk about the benefits of, do you ever repurpose the content? Like as a podcaster doing long form audio, it's really interesting to talk to streamers who are repurposing their content in what I call mid-tier and short-tier content. So the mid-tier is if you do an hour-long stream, you have these like questions that you pull out from that longer stream and you feature them as videos. And then you even do vertical videos like YouTube Shorts that are even shorter than that. Can you talk on that? Is that something you do or would be interested in doing?
I have done it, but I'm not the best at it just because it's time, and I'm run a busy business. I run a printing business too. So I'm like my time, and I haven't offloaded that. I know you say you outsource sometimes for things. I still do everything. Like I still do the editing. I do have some help sometimes, but I'm kind of a control freak in that sense. So I probably limit myself from not repurposing things the way I should. I do sometimes take my videos that I shoot, cut them up into shorts, make them shorts. But I also take my good long form content videos and put them up on Spotify as podcasts.
Yeah, that's another way of doing it. I love that. Yeah, that's
because I go to the gym and I listen to I love listening to a 45-minute, hour-long thing. Yeah. I also love that YouTube now has the podcast tab. You can put things on as a podcast, and I don't know if YouTube just rewards you when you do new features, but I definitely, over the last year that they've had that, or 7 months or however long, when I put things in that podcast tab, it just seems like my viewership goes up. I do think they kind of push people towards that podcast.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
List.
I don't know. I don't think there's any data behind trying out the new features, but you're right. I could see that happening behind the scenes. Let's talk about making money now. You mentioned it early on at the top of the show. YouTube is one of the central hubs of your monetization for your business and everything. Talk about the different buckets and the different ways that you make money, and then possibly can you talk about kind of on average kind of what you're making kind of coming down the YouTube funnel?
Yeah. The one thing everyone thinks is YouTube monetization. You get monetized and you get this YouTube AdSense, which is not a lot. It's like, it's not enough to really, unless you have huge numbers, it's really not enough to not that it's not enough, but you can be making so much more. So I think YouTube like pays you based on your content or something. It's like the revenue per minute or something. Like if you're making stuff on financial things and things dealing with money, then those are higher versus like someone with a gaming channel that has 80 million subscribers, but they make very little per, because it's not a lot of people aren't spending money. So my channel, I think, just has a naturally high kind of monetization thing because it's business, it's marketing and stuff. And I think this video, I make like $2,000 a month on average with 10,000 subscribers, but I just reached 10,000. I only hit 7,500 like a month ago, and I make about $2,000 to $3,000 a month on YouTube ads.
That's going to go up pretty quickly as your channel continues to grow because you are in the perfect space. The finance space and the business space, those people are paying right. They're paying a lot higher per 1,000 views. Yes.
Right. But I guess the main thing is like whatever you're making YouTube on, YouTube AdSense, in my opinion, should not be the thing that you're kind of going for. That should be just like a bonus. Because you're not going to make a whole lot with small amounts of subscribers, but you can if you make a digital course. Simple thing would be to have an email opt-in. So someone is interested in your content and they get something free by signing up on your email. You put it in the description, you mention it, and then they go on and they put their email in and they get the free digital guide or whatever, checklist or something, or just newsletter. And now you have their email list. And if you make a little instructional course, maybe a mini video course or a PDF document, and you put it up there for $10, $20, $50, you're going to have people signing up and you're going to have people buying that. That's where you're going to make your money. That's truly where you're going to make your money on YouTube.
So talk about the ways that you specifically, you're selling the courses, you have the ad revenue. What would you say as far as, can you give us kind of a pie chart of the different areas of your business and kind of break down how you're making the money and the percentages of which you're making?
Totally. I would say that just a broad estimate, half of the money that I make, besides YouTube money that pays the AdSense, besides the money you get from ads, monetizing your YouTube, I would probably make half on printing, because I am essentially promoting my print shop, my print business. I teach people how to do postcards and direct mail and stuff, and then they naturally come to me for the printing. So I'm getting a ton of business customers just from that. That would be like a real estate agent making a bunch of content, and then the people contact them to go sell their house locally or buy their house. So I get about half my income from that, and the other half is from these courses. I have lots of digital courses on different topics that people buy, everything ranging from like $20 to $1,000. And I wake up every morning and I see sale.
And you can track and know that a lot of this traffic is coming from YouTube.
Yeah, totally. It's about 1.5 million that I estimate, because I think I'm at like 1.3 now or something. So I should be at 1.5 or so by the end of the year. That's just YouTube generated traffic. That's just stuff that came from YouTube.
Let's focus in on the email stuff for a minute. That's
Yeah.
kind of a foreign topic for creators. They're really fearful about creating an email newsletter and a list. Having that freebie is certainly important. Can you talk about getting that set up, how to grow the list, and
Oh yeah, totally.
give an example of, your freebie makes sense for your business, but maybe give an example of another YouTube creator and what they could do in their niche or their space.
Yeah, I'm an avid watercolor, so I like watercolor and gouache painting and drawing. So there's multiple channels I'll follow that are in that space. That's a good, like, totally different space. And almost all of them will have, at least the successful ones, will have sign up and get my, well, it'll either be like a newsletter, like just stay updated, or it'll be like get my 10 watercolor tips or 10 gouache tips. Something like that is like, if a person is watching something they're interested in, a person, you can almost always as a creator get my 10-step checklist to whatever it is, whether that's in the fitness space or whatever space you are in. You can make like a 10-step checklist or tips, something really small like that. And you put it as a giveaway on your email list. So you sign up to any email. I use Aweber. There's a ton of them, email marketing lists. They're really inexpensive. Someone signs up, they put their email in and they like authorize, okay, it's okay to send me emails. And then it automatically delivers that free guide to them in their mailbox. What I love, if you're not familiar with email marketing, any of you watching this, you can set up like a sequence so that like the next day it automatically sends this letter that you wrote. And then in 2 days it sends this. And then in 3 days after that it sends this. Or if they click this, it sends that. And then eventually you send them a thing that has a paid product, or when they download something, it says, oh, I also have this for sale. And you have a little course that you made, a little PDF guide. And you have a constant income coming in. These people get like messages and they think like you're writing them that day. It's amazing.
How are you? I mean, I'm on your website right now as we're recording this. Are you hosting all this yourself on your own website? Like, how are you? Are you using a course designing software?
Man, because I've been doing it so long, I have like tons of content. Because before I was on YouTube, I was just making courses all the time and selling them over email to like the same list. And because I have so much content, I'm kind of locked in to my self-hosting on WordPress. If I was starting from scratch, I would not do that. I would go to, was it like Kajabi and maybe Skillshare or something. There's these like specific courses where you can just sign up and have courses on there. I would totally use those. For me, I have so much content, it would take forever to like migrate all of it over and kind of get it shifted over to somewhere new.
How many people do you have on your email list?
My email list is like 30,000 buyers, like people that have actually bought, and it's like 70,000 total non-buy. So it's like 30,000 buyers and 40,000 more that haven't bought that just communicate. But that's grown, that's you only need, like, I was making a full-time living with 3,000 people on my email list and, hardly any YouTube presence. Like, you only need a small amount of people to make a full-time living.
Just the correct people, just the people who are going to buy. What's the pricing strategy for your courses? What do you price them at?
I price them all over. I've got things that are, I make sure that I have things for everyone. There's like a principle of that or something where you have like a ladder where there's always something bigger. Mine maxes out at 1,000. There's a lot of people in like my space that have $10,000 workshops and stuff. I haven't done that, but there's a ton of stuff in the $20 to $50 range, and then there's a few that are in the like $250 to $400 range, and then there's a couple that are in the $500 to $1,000 range. People will spend money for. You can even, when you start making a lot of content, you can even just bundle your content up into one thing, like, so they don't have to watch 100 videos to get, what you bundle all your content kind of into one thing and then sell it for $500. People will gladly pay that.
What is something that you wish you would have known sooner on YouTube? Like, now that you're in this thing and you're making good money from it, something that you look back on and you're like, man, if I just would have known that sooner.
Yeah, I still struggle with it a little bit, but I'm getting a lot better at it. And it's evident in how well my videos do. But it's to really two things, and they're kind of together. One is to you talk about packaging, like really start thinking of how you're going to package this before you make the video. What that title's going to be, what that thumbnail's kind of going to look like, and what you're going to hook them in with in the beginning. Like thinking of that first. That not doing that, you will end up making a ton of videos that don't get as nearly as much traction as they should. But really it's thinking, for me, if I knew how important those first like 10 to 30 seconds are, I could have made, there's so many videos that I have that are really, really good. They're really good, but I tried to get either like subtle with the thumbnail or, didn't get to the really good stuff till later in the video, and I just thought people would watch it, and they don't watch it because they aren't hooked in that very beginning. That's the biggest mistake I've made, and I still have to kind of refrain from that. Because you make a video, and you like, anyone who's started making videos knows this. You like ramble on. You can go on for like 7 minutes and then you haven't even gotten to the thing because you're like talking to people and you're making a little intro and you're making a little conversation. People are going to click off that right away. And that's when you get comments that are like, okay, if you really want to learn to skip to minute 12 or stop talking for 5 minutes. You ever watch a tutorial and you're sitting there watching them for 4 minutes and you're like, please just tell me this thing.
It used to be me. I mean, I do search-based evergreen content. I do tech tutorials every day, 7 days a week. I get 50 to 75,000 views every single day on my channel. And
Crazy.
one of the hardest things that I had to learn the hard way is the first thing I did was cut my intro. I had a guy design about a 13-second really cool logo intro. Right. Cut that out. Then I realized, I was like, I looked at my little heat map on my videos, and they were just kind of fast forwarding about 30 seconds of where I would say the thing like, all right, guys, if you want to know how to, delete your whatever or do this in Photoshop, and I would give this big 30-second kind of rundown. Now, all I do is, all right, in this video, you're going to learn how to grow on YouTube. First thing you want to do, and you just go into it. And my retention, people, I can't tell you how many comments I've gotten where I love, my favorite comment is, man, this tutorial has no right being this high quality. Or, man, I love that this guy didn't waste my time in the beginning. But I have hundreds of videos on my channel, almost 3,000 videos now. I have hundreds of videos on my channel from years ago where I look back and I cringe. And the video had gotten, like, I had some videos that have gotten, millions of views over time. And I hated that I made those people wait through. Yeah. And that video could have been way better. So how do you, let's get into the details then. How do you optimize the beginning of a video? How do you hook them in? How do you do it now? How do you take that first few seconds and get them in?
Strong statement right off the bat. Really strong claim. The thing is, this bigger the claim, the bigger the proof that you have to back that up. Like, it's just, you can't clickbait. You cannot clickbait people. They will drop off. And YouTube will punish you for that, 100%. They will punish you for clickbait type stuff. So you just have to make a big claim. You can drag stuff out later. Like, I've found you can really drag things out later on. But if you just, and I sit there at that editing, I'm editing and I am cutting out every millisecond in those first 10 seconds. And then I go on to 30 seconds. I cut everything out so this thing moves fast. I throw in, I'll zoom. So it's not just video. It's not just audio or like the actual speaking, but it's also the video. You got to have something moving, movement fast, cutting every little bit of fat out of that 10 seconds, 30 seconds to where it is, they know exactly what they're going to get by watching this video. It's really, really important. Then you can drag stuff out.
What I did was I began to go back to older uploads, and I would rewatch them, and I would take out a pen and paper or a digital note system, and I would just timestamp the parts of the video that I should have cut out.
Sweet.
And in the first 30 seconds, I realized that like 22 of those seconds were just me rambling about what should or shouldn't. And being a guide maker, a tutorial person, there are a lot of things that are pertinent to the video. I have to include if there's like a download somewhere or if there's something like a problem that you may run into. I have to bring these things up. But I found that I was spending a minute on these things as opposed to 20 or 25 seconds of just briefly, getting better at being more concise and still being a good storyteller.
Hardest thing.
And I found that in my tutorials, when I, came up with this fake thing, Dusty's Donuts, where I would feature that in all my tutorials where I would be doing something. People love that stuff. They love getting real with it. And I learned that from a guy I had on my podcast a couple of years ago. He did it, and his channel's blown up to over 1 million subscribers now, and all he does is tech tutorials as well. So learning from people and taking what they do and applying it in your niche, in your space, is a very important thing. As we close out today, by the way, congratulations on all your success. It's so cool that someone like you is able to get on YouTube and really kind of springboard even more what their business is doing. It's a great representation of what YouTube is as a whole. What's next for you and the YouTube channel, and what are you looking to do going forward?
There's a girl that works for me. I actually have 11 employees. But there's a girl that works for me who for the first 2 years I'm on YouTube, I've been 2.5 years. I had a right-hand woman assistant who we worked on videos together. We'd shoot videos, we'd brainstorm things, she'd edit, and I was able to pump out videos really common. Well, she just graduated college and is off on another direction, but I have another one that this summer will do that. So that is my next thing, is to really start putting out probably 3 to 4 videos a week. I will pump up the volume, and my channel is going to go crazy. I mean, when I start putting out 3-4 videos a week, for sure. I wanted to share something with you before I forget. You ever listen to Think Media podcast? That's a good one.
They're really good guys over there doing some great stuff.
Yeah. Well, I listened while I was on a run to, they interviewed the guy who does the shorts for the Dave Ramsey channel, and they have a gazillion viewers. And he brought up what they do, and I never thought of this, and this is so cool. This has helped me a bunch. I need to maximize it more. Anyone can do this. You download you go to the advanced tab in YouTube, and you download you download everything. It makes a spreadsheet file, and it just gives you all your videos, the titles, the lengths, all the information. It's just a spreadsheet of all the information of your videos. And then you upload it to ChatGPT, and you have it analyze it. So you can say, what is the perfect length of video I should make where I've gotten the most views or something, and it will calculate that data and spit it back. Okay, you should make videos on this topic at this length. They seem to be doing the best. You have a $1 million data analyst team in ChatGPT that can look at your entire YouTube history and tell you what are the things that you should be doing next. That's wild.
Now that's really neat. I'm gonna have to do that. I'm big into utilizing AI where it helps, right? Using it as a partner and not as a replacement, right?
Correct. Not to make videos and
anything like that.
Videos,
I feel is very helpful. Well,
yeah, just to know things okay, what videos did I get the most comments on? What topic? What should I make a topic on that is probably going to do the best? So we'll crunch all that data, your past data, and spit it back out in concise formats. It'll answer your questions, which is wild.
That's a really great idea.
My main thing to answer your question really is to ramp up video. Basically get another person here so we can shoot and edit and just pump out videos, just pump out more content. That's it. Good Alex Hormozy made a statement that I recall, if you want to 10x your input, just 10x your output.
Yeah, now I completely agree with that 100%. Jake, it has been amazing. It is so cool to break down your channel and the success that you're having. Thanks for being a guest on the podcast, and we'll talk to you next time.
Yeah, thank you.